One of the hardest things to do, other than finding a parking spot at Trader Joe's, is parsing through all the information online about triads on guitar and how it can help you learn the fretboard, right? Really a great tool because it is super musical. A triad is just 3 notes to make up a chord, usually a major or minor chord. But a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this too, it's like you want to teach too much of it. It's like maybe you start here and you do these like fretboard spanning arpeggios and stuff like that. So we're going to simplify it and just do a short lesson on moving through triads on just the D, G, and B strings in a musical way in the key of F. Okay, so let's say you've broken your E string and your A string and your high E string. Guess what? This is the perfect lesson for you. I know that's pretty niche, but this is what we're doing. All right. So again, 3-note chord, triad, F major is just that staircase shape. See, you won't find this in the cage chord system because this is an F shape, right? So all you cage truthers, get out of here. Find somewhere else. Go park at Sprouts. We're at Trader Joe's. This is class. So 3 on the D string, 2 on the G string, 1 on the B string, okay? F, A, and C. A triad. Rocking this new Martin D18 guitar, by the way. Thanks for the guitar, Martin. So the 1, 4, and 5 chords in the key are the major chords. So in the key of F is F, B flat, and C. We can move this to an F, to a B flat, to a C with the same shape, right? And again, I always like thinking of the finger that is like a lead finger. In this case, I'm actually thinking of my pointer finger as being the lead finger, just because that's in line with the lower E string root note, as far as what a F shape might be. So I'm going from the 1st fret to the 6th fret to the 8th fret. And again, just think of just staircasing it down. So the B flat would just be 6, 7, 8, and then the C would be 8, 9, 10. But look at all this empty space that we're traversing, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add other voicings to connect these shapes, all right? So we'll start with F, and then we're gonna go to just the 3rd fret. And again, all of this is gonna be on the D, G, and B string, so don't even think about what strings you're using. We're just doing a shape. Okay, so what you may have noticed, I just did the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. And in fact, this is like an A major shape. So we've got the B flat here, and then the C major there. So we've got F, B flat, C. Okay? 1, 4, 5. You can do songs like that. But we're definitely not here to do that. So that kind of bridges the gap to get us into those other chords, the other B flat, C. So it's really good to be able to do this forward, and then maybe you can pivot here and go back. All right, really, really cool. Another thing I just want to take a second is so I'm doing this hybrid pick where I'm picking with a pick, the D string, and then my middle finger grabs the G string, and my ring finger grabs the B string. So this is something I've seen a lot of good guitar players do, and it's funny because now I just do this, and I never practiced it, but it just happened. I feel like maybe this just happened today. This lesson is not about that. I just wanted to make a note for my own, myself. Now we're not done here though, okay? We can go higher. So now again, let's think of your ring finger as being your lead finger. Let's go another whole step, but then reverse where the middle finger and the pointer finger are, right? Okay, so now this is actually like a D major shape, right? Like here, but there. So now my ring finger is on 12D, my pointer finger is 10G, and my middle finger is the root note of the chord. So these are inversions, right? An inversion is a chord where the root note is not the lowest note. So there's my root note, the 11th fret of the B string, so a B flat, and then I can go another step higher to get the C major, and then maybe I just want to end in a cutesy little way on that F on the high E string, okay? So all together, the entire thing is going to sound like this. We've got our F, B flat, C, B flat, C again, B flat, C again, F. Okay? Now, the cool thing is this isn't just this key. We haven't used any open strings. So eventually what you do is you just think of like, all right, what's my parent scale going to be? Maybe it's the key of A, right? And then it's like, all right, I know I can go 1, 4, 5, and then just do that. So it's like I start with my 1 chord, and then I know that where my ring finger is, where my root note is also going to be in the next spot, and then I go higher from there, and then I can kind of continue on from there. All right. Okay. So the movability of these shapes is really what's actually super important. And right there, I think that's good for especially adding like an accompaniment track to something with like either like a bass guitar or maybe just like another acoustic guitar, because you're not fighting other instruments with like the lowness. You're not like, you're not getting that like big full sound. You're getting kind of like just a really a very sweet part of the sonic spectrum, right? And I feel that really lends itself to accompaniment type stuff. And in fact, even if you wanted to solo with something like this, you could use these as like hot spots in between and be like, all right, well, I know that this is my 1 chord. I can always think of it as like maybe going up here. One thing that I use a lot in my own playing is I think of double stops from a guitar solo standpoint. So let's take it from the top of what we just did, right? When we had that C up here. Let's actually just go backwards through that, which is essentially kind of like a chord scale, just playing the 1, 4s, and 5s through inversions. But let's do them just as maybe double stops, where they're just on that G and B string. So let's actually simplify it even a step further. So they're no longer triads, but we're getting these from thinking about where those triads were. Remember, this and this are always a step away. Okay, so there's my C, there's my B flat, there's another C and another B flat and another C and another B flat and a F. Okay, so again, if you want to keep that shape, a cool little kind of double stop note thing you could do is maybe hit the top of that chord and go like chord, bass, chord, chord. I'm saying chord, I mean double stop though, right? And I think it just sounds cool, right? So, just something to keep in mind, and especially sliding into inversions, I think is something that really helps to start a solo. Like I said, this is in the key of F. So if you do want to just get your minor pentatonic on, you would go to D minor, right? Which would just be So if you have like those hot licks that you want to add to this, really cool thing to do is maybe just slide into like one of those shapes. Maybe we could slide into that C chord, and then back. See how I end up there? So again, you can slide from anywhere, but it's just eventually it becomes a combination of all these different concepts that you can string together. And I think really focusing on just 3 strings and 3 chords is a great way to start looking at it, right? In fact, I used some of this, a lot of this stuff in the song that I posted yesterday, which was a collaboration video with my buddy Andreas, where we did an original song, which I also posted on the Patreon. So definitely make sure to check that out, because I think that song ended up really good. And I use a lot of these, especially this kind of stuff, in the electric guitar track. So listen to that song and let me know what you guys think. I'll link it in the description. And again, like I said, thank you to Martin for sending this guitar over. Really loving it. I think it sounds so good, right? Especially in the key of F. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.